They told me never to drive Route 319 after midnight. Old truckers at the diner, guys at the gas station, even my neighbor, who doesn't believe in ghosts, said, "Take the long way home. Trust me." They said it was dangerous, too many deer, too many drunk drivers, and too many stories about people who vanished without a trace. But that night, I didn't have a choice. It was past midnight, and the air was heavy with fog. Thick, rolling mist that clung to the road like it didn't want to let go. My headlights pushed through it like two weak flashlights, barely showing me the cracked asphalt ahead. The trees leaned in from both sides, tall and skeletal. Their bare branches scraped against each other in the wind, making a sound like whispers in a language I couldn't understand. I was tired. My hands gripped the wheel tighter than they should. The coffee in my cup holder had gone cold hours ago. I just wanted my bed, my quiet apartment, and to forget this whole day had ever happened. And then I saw her. At first, I thought it was just a trick of the fog. A pale, upright shape on the shoulder of the road. But as I got closer, my stomach tightened. It was a woman, young, maybe mid-20s, standing completely still in a long, white dress. The hem was torn and muddy. Dark stains spread across the fabric, the kind you don't want to think too hard about. Her hair was tangled, damp, like she'd been caught in a storm hours ago. She wasn't waving for help. She wasn't moving at all. She was just watching me. I slowed down without realizing I was doing it. Every instinct screamed to keep going, but something in the way she stood there, not desperate, not panicked, just waiting, made it impossible to drive past. I rolled the window down a crack. "Are you okay?" I asked. My voice sounded too loud in the empty night. For a moment, she didn't answer. Then, in the softest whisper, she said, "Can you take me home?" Before I could even think, she opened the back door and slid into the seat behind me. I caught a whiff of something, damp earth, and underneath it, something faintly metallic. Like rust. Or blood. I glanced in the rearview mirror. She was sitting perfectly straight, hands folded in her lap around a small bouquet of wilted flowers. Her gaze was fixed on the floor. "Where do you live?" I asked. She gave me an address I didn't recognize. My GPS said it was 20 minutes away, deep into the woods, past where the streetlights end. As I pulled back onto the road, the fog thickened, swallowing the world outside my headlights. The hum of the tires on asphalt turned into the crunch of gravel. My phone lost its signal. For a long stretch, the only sound was the engine, and her breathing. Slow. Steady. I kept stealing glances in the mirror. But every time my eyes met hers, I swore she was sitting a little closer. I told myself it was just my imagination. Just the dark playing tricks on me. And then, she spoke again. "He didn't wait for me," she whispered. "But you did." A chill ran all the way down my spine. The farther we drove, the stranger it felt. The gravel road narrowed, the trees pressing closer until their branches arched over us like ribs of some giant creature. The fog didn't just hang in the air anymore, it curled and moved, like it was alive, shifting out of our way only to close in again behind us. My dashboard clock ticked away the minutes, but it felt like time had slowed. I could swear we'd been driving far longer than 20 minutes. I glanced in the mirror again. The girl, the bride, because there was no mistaking the dress now, was staring straight ahead. Her lips moved, but no sound came out. "Did you say something?" I asked, my voice shaky. Her head turned slightly, just enough for me to see her profile in the dim glow of the passing trees. "He said he'd come for me," she murmured. "But he left me there, alone." My hands tightened on the steering wheel. Something inside me screamed to stop the car, to tell her to get out, to turn around and leave. But my body wouldn't listen. "Where, exactly are we going?" I asked, trying to keep my tone light, casual. You'll see, she said. And then, softer, almost to herself, you already know. The road grew rougher. Potholes, roots pushing through the dirt. My headlights flickered once, twice, and for a heartbeat, I thought I saw shapes moving between the trees. Figures. Standing still, just like she had on the roadside. Watching. My GPS screen glitched, the little arrow spinning in place before the display went black entirely. No signal. No map. Nothing but the sound of the engine and that slow, steady breathing behind me. Then I noticed something that made my skin crawl. In the mirror, her reflection was wrong. It was faint, pale, almost see-through, like she was further away than she really was. But when I looked over my shoulder, she was leaning forward, close enough that I could see the damp strands of hair stuck to her cheek. How much longer? I asked, my throat dry. She smiled. Not wide. Not warm. Just a slow curl of her lips that didn't reach her eyes. We're almost there. The trees opened up into a clearing, and in the distance, I saw it, a house. Old, blackened wood, windows like empty eyes. The front door swung gently in the wind, creaking on rusty hinges. Every instinct I had told me to turn around. Floor the gas. Leave her there. But instead, my foot eased off the pedal, and the car rolled to a stop in front of that house. She leaned forward, her breath cold against my ear. This is where it happened, she whispered. Where he left me. Where I waited. And then I realized something that made my blood run cold. The ground in front of the house wasn't just wet. It was dark. Stained. Like the earth itself had been drinking something it shouldn't. I stepped out of the car. The gravel crunched under my shoes, loud in the eerie silence. The air was thick, not just with fog, but with something heavier. Something wrong. The house loomed over me, dark and empty, its windows like hollow eyes staring straight into my soul. The wind whispered through broken boards, carrying a faint, metallic scent. My stomach twisted. She waits, the girl said behind me, her voice calm, almost gentle. I spun around. She was closer than she had been. No door, no space between us. Her eyes, empty, hollow, yet somehow full of sorrow. What do you want from me? I managed to choke out. Her lips curved into that same slow, unnatural smile. I just wanted someone to come back with me. And then I noticed it. Her feet. Floating. She wasn't standing on the ground. Not really. And as the realization hit, my mind raced, everything made sense. The missing travelers on Route 319, the stories, the fog that seemed alive. She wasn't alive. The bouquet in her hands, the flowers weren't real. They were made of paper, crumpled and wet, stuck with old stains that no sunlight should have preserved. I stumbled back to the car, fumbling with the keys. My hands were shaking. The engine roared to life, tires spinning in the gravel, but the road, it had vanished. No asphalt, no lines. Only dark trees, endless fog, and her floating figure in the rearview mirror. Please, she whispered, almost pleading now. Stay with me. I slammed the car in reverse. The engine screamed. Branches clawed at the paint. My headlights flickered, then went out. And in the dark, I saw her move closer, gliding, impossible. I didn't stop. I didn't look back. The car burst through the fog like a bullet, and just when I thought I had escaped, the GPS flickered back to life. The arrow pointed, nowhere. Every street, every turn I knew, had disappeared. The map was empty. The world I had known was gone. And in the rearview mirror, she was gone too. But her whisper stayed. Next time, don't drive alone. I never took Route 319 again. And every time I hear fog rolling in, or branches scratching against my window, I think I see her, waiting, watching, smiling.